Podcast City Network.
Hey guys, and welcome to another exciting episode of Final Score, episode 125. That's century and a quarter right there. I tell you what, making it happen, getting deep into October. So much going on. Shout out to everybody in the chat that's listening to the show right now. Cheyenne, big shout out to you for sure. Brandon Brewer, what's going on, bud? Definitely going to be a great show, but I can't do it without the one, the only S Money. How you doing, bud?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Been excited watching a lot of this football that's been going on. A lot of exciting stuff that we're going to be covering today, but you got to make sure that you follow us on social media at PCN Final Score on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. And also just help us, with hitting those like and share buttons in the corner of this video. That way you can help Final Score get out there even more. Definitely helps us out, and we definitely appreciate you guys. But we're going to jump into some college football, and definitely was a crazy weekend of college football. A lot of things happening, including Iowa going down, which we'll touch on a little bit more later. But a lot of great stuff, and you see Georgia still number one after taking down Kentucky easily, 30-13. Man, is Georgia for real?
Best team in the country, I think. I mean, that defense is definitely the best in the country.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. And I think going into this game, they're only allowing like 5.5 points a game. So absolutely crazy. But they still went out there, got the job done. Quarterback Stetson Bennett threw for 250 yards and 3 touchdowns, 2 of which went to Brock Bowers. So Georgia's still finding answers on offense, too. So, man.
Oh, yeah.
And now Georgia goes also into a bye week before they have to play Florida. Do you think they stand a pretty good chance against Florida?
Who, Georgia?
Absolutely.
Oh, my gosh. Florida's looking like cupcakes.
Oh, man. You ain't lying.
You read of the last couple of weekends. I don't know. I think Florida's close game against Bama was a fluke.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's looking more and more that way. That, and after Bama losing to Texas A&M, you got to think that maybe even Bama's not even as good as advertised. So a lot of things you got to take into consideration with that. But Georgia's still our number one team, 7-0. At number 2, though, we have now Cincinnati, 6-0 after their big win against UCF, 56-21. Their next game against 1-5 Navy, which is probably going to be just a steamroll. But do you think Cincinnati's for real?
You know it not. You know it, but you know my answer is. I already got one cupcake out of the top 10. I was gone. Cincinnati's next. No, it's not this weekend, but it's coming soon.
Yeah, you definitely can't rule it out. Cincinnati doesn't have a whole lot to go up against the rest of the way, I think, except for SMU. So who knows what will happen.
They're using that Notre Dame win to make them, but we're not that good this year. So the win against us shouldn't put them at number 2. No.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see how it works out. Notre Dame looking like they could run the table from here, but we'll touch on them a little more later too. But yeah, Cincinnati the only win.
Undefeated?
I mean, that's our number 3 team coming in at 7-0 after beating TCU 52-31, and somehow they're still there.
How? Yeah, but how are they 3 seed?
Because they're still undefeated. You know how it goes. They got the love for these old power programs. That's how these rankings go.
Never have I seen a power program ahead of a big, real program. The little program.
That's true.
Undefeated record, same stuff. Harder schedule, Oklahoma. So what's Cincinnati there for? I don't know. Call me crazy.
I don't know. It's definitely interesting. Maybe this is their way to try and say sorry for all those years of screwing over those other small schools like the UCFs and the Boise States of the world. But who knows?
What do you mean? The UCF didn't win the national championship that they got hung in the school?
No, they didn't win that legit.
Oh, I see the banner championship. I thought they won.
I've seen
They
it
should
too.
hang a banner like they won. They celebrate like they won.
Yeah, they really do.
You can't tell those fans that they didn't win that year.
No, you really can't tell them that, but it's crazy, man. And maybe that's why you see Cincinnati here at 2 rather than being at like 3 or 4. So I don't know, man. We'll definitely see as the season unfolds more. But coming in at number 4, we got 6-1 Alabama after their big win against Mississippi State, 49-9. Bryce Young looking amazing, threw for 348 and 4 touchdowns. Do you think Bama's going to be able to run the table from here?
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to beat Georgia or how that'll work. But the rest of their schedule besides Georgia, I think they'll run through. Bama's always good. Always got NFL players there.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think that they're going to be. Haley, sorry, life of a dad here.
Happens.
I definitely think Bama's, Georgia, Bama, best 2. That's who you want to see in the national championship. If you're a football fan, you like football and not upsets and so forth. We want to see Georgia and Bama, the best 2 teams, in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll definitely see how that works out. Alabama taking on 4-3 Tennessee in their next game. But at number 5, we have Ohio State, which just kind of benefited having a bye week this week. Ended up sliding up because of the Iowa loss, along with the 2 teams behind them, with number 6 Michigan and number 7 Penn State. All 3 Big Ten schools just sliding on up thanks to Iowa falling. So all 3 of these teams, though, have interesting paths still going forward. Michigan, the only undefeated of the 3 at 6-0. Do you think the Big Ten realistically has a shot of getting a team into the playoff?
Yeah, just because I think they're going to give them more credit than they deserve, and I don't want to knock Big Ten football. It just hasn't been the same for a while since the Michigan Notre Dame rivalries. I don't really think any of the Big Ten is that great. As we saw Ohio State lose to Oregon, who Oregon doesn't look that great on any given day, I guess. They're all beatable, and I think one's going to get in because there's so many high ranking, so they're going to give them more like, hey, the Big Ten's for real, this and that. And then so they're going to value the undefeated Big Ten team, I think, is going to end up in the thing. So we got Bama, Georgia, the Big Ten winner, and then some other team that ends up in there.
Maybe Cincinnati.
Hey, listen, if they have them ranked as high as they do you have their schedule in front of you?
All I know is that they don't face another ranked team the rest of the season outside of Southern Methodist, and that is it.
Where do they play? SMU? In SMU?
I think it's at SMU.
That's a challenge. Not much, but it's a challenge.
Yeah, because the rest of their schedule looks like Navy, Tulane, Tulsa, South Florida. No, they actually get SMU at home. I'm sorry, and then East Carolina.
So they're gonna get in because they're gonna run that. I mean, they can lose there, but knowing that they're playing for national championship, I think they'll be up to running that table.
Yeah.
Do they get passed up if they run that table? Are they automatically in?
Well, it's not automatic, but given their rankings, it'd be hard to keep them out.
Yeah.
It really just depends upon the official college football playoff subcommittee rankings once those come out.
And then they'll be the 2, and they'll play the 3, which would be good. I want Bama and Georgia both to make it, but I want them to be like one, not play each other in the first round, obviously. And I think the committee knows what they're doing. That's what they'll do. They'll put them on opposite sides,
Oof.
And I don't know. That's what I'd like to see. That way they play 2 other teams, and if a team's good enough to beat them, then beat them, and then they play each other. Because to me, it's a clear 2 front runners is who the best 2 teams in football are.
Well, it's crazy looking at the rankings. If you're talking about Bama and Georgia both making it in, it's going to come down to Bama having to beat Georgia in the SEC title game. Both teams with 1 loss being able to have great resumes with, losses. Alabama's loss not as, as good as what Georgia's would be, but
so
I don't see it.
Would go to number 1?
That means Cincinnati would go to number 1. I mean, at least in the AP rankings.
Then Georgia's the 2 or 3. Then Bama's wouldn't Bama jump Georgia?
They would have to at that point. So you think
Georgia would go to
Bama would be
4.
2 and Georgia would probably be
Go
3,
to 4. Georgia would go to 4, and then the undefeated Big Ten team would slide in at 3. That's how I see it.
which means if they had to go undefeated with a Big Ten school, it'd have to be Michigan at that point. So that would make for a very interesting playoff.
Yeah, Michigan, and then you'd say Cincinnati run the table and be our number 1 seed. Crazy.
Could happen. It could happen. But looking at the rest of our top 10, we have Oklahoma State, who's also undefeated, sitting at number 8. Leader pretty much right now outside of Oklahoma in the Big 12. They got a big win against Texas, 32-24. Not a super spectacular game, but they were able to force some turnovers and be able to get the win late. Do you think Oklahoma State might have a shot of being able to win the Big 12?
Yeah. Any team that can run the football and have a little bit of defense usually has a chance. I mean, they're run heavy. Run heavy eats clock up. So if you can run good and you got some defense, you always have a chance.
Yeah, and you ain't lying. Running back Jalen Warren had 33 carries for 193 yards, so they definitely were able to move that rock on the ground pretty well. So can't go wrong with that. And
pretty good. My memory on what all these teams do without nothing in front of me. I tell you, they run the ball, and you said 33 times. Do they even throw?
But since we're talking about Oklahoma State too, we always got to throw in.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
So good old Gundy, man. Good old Gundy. But they have to take on Iowa State at 4-2, so that'll be their next game. But coming in at number 9, we have yet another undefeated Big Ten school in 7-0 Michigan State after their 20-15 win over Indiana. Was not a pretty win by any means necessary. Very ugly game. Lots of turnovers. A lot of mistakes. But luckily, Michigan State will be going on a bye, so hopefully they can get some of that fixed up. But do you think Michigan State might have a realistic shot at the Big Ten, or are they just kind of clinging on to this undefeated record, by a thread?
Week by week is coming. And then I forgot, so Michigan and Michigan State are both undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the other one, Penn State's not, right?
Yeah, they lost Iowa.
Yeah, no, they're not for real. I mean, better, like I said last time. Was that last week?
Yeah, I think it was last week.
Oh, time's crazy. Anyways, like I said last week, they're not. It's just kind of waiting. Upset's coming eventually. They're not the best team in the Big Ten.
Yeah, definitely not. And I think they are one that's going to end up losing to Michigan and might even lose another along the way if they're not careful. So Michigan State, I think, is just hanging on by a thread. But at number 10, we have Oregon, the Pac-12 leader, at 5-1, beating Cal narrowly, 24-17. The quarterback, Anthony Brown, not having a bad game, 244 yards and a touchdown, but the running game wasn't bad either by Travis Dye, 19 carries, 145 yards and a touchdown. They still got to take on UCLA next week, though, at 5-2. UCLA, I think, could be an easy trap game for Oregon. What do you think?
Where are they playing?
It's going to be in UCLA, and I think UCLA is already favored by 2 in this.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough game. UCLA has shown signs of being good and not. Oregon, really, besides that Ohio State win, they're barely beating these Pac-12 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they're for real. I do think they can beat UCLA this week. But past that, they're not, a New Year's Six Bowl. They're striving for a New Year's Six Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I don't see a whole lot of hope for them. They might win the Pac-12. That's up for grabs, too. Arizona State, Utah, UCLA, even Oregon State and Washington State this year. So I don't know all the records right in front of me. The first few I name will probably be the front runner for the Pac-12. I can see Oregon winning it, but other than that, they're no threat.
Right. But that is our top 10. Some of these teams to watch outside of the top 10. We do have Iowa still sitting there now, number 11, 6-1 after their 24-7 loss to Purdue. You said they're cupcakes to Purdue. Yes, Purdue, who got their second ever top 2 win by beating Iowa. Ugly game by Iowa. They weren't able to get anything going. I don't know if that is pretty much the nail in the coffin for them. That might even keep them out of any kind of a New Year's Six Bowl as well. So,
yeah, not getting that either. They're going to be in the Idaho Potato Bowl or whatever it's called.
Or the Duke's Mayo Bowl or something. There's 43 bowls this year, so plenty to choose from.
But Blimp Bowl.
Yeah, right. But yeah, definitely over for Iowa at this point. But looking at number 12, we got Ole Miss 5-1 after their win against Tennessee, 31-26. Their only loss, oh my gosh, I can't even remember. Came to Alabama. So, this Ole Miss squad, I think, could still be dangerous.
Yeah, they're good. I think when they played Bama, I don't know if you watched the game, but they gambled too much. They went for it, fourth on their side, Winsor on the goal line. So a lot of kick field goals, a lot of punts, and that score could have been a lot different. Because, when you miss it on your 40, it's a short field for a team like Bama to go down and score. I don't know. I know that game looked like, it wasn't touched. Bama couldn't have been touched by Ole Miss, but I think, if they had to play again somewhere along the line, which I don't think they will, I give Ole Miss still a chance to beat them. Probably won't, but would probably put a better showing on than they did the last time.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Another team, though, to look out for is number 13, Notre Dame, 5-1. The only loss coming to Cincinnati. Their schedule the rest of the way is pretty favorable when you really look at it. They have USC this upcoming week after coming off the bye week last week. They got North Carolina, which is probably their hardest test going forward, and then Navy, Virginia, Georgia Tech, and Stanford. So not a whole lot of competition.
We run the table. Cincinnati runs the table. And then we're that other, and the Big Ten beats up on each other. Then we're the team that gets in because Cincinnati's the best team, and that's the only one that beat us.
Mm-hmm. Could happen.
Yeah, could happen.
It'd be crazy, but anything's possible. Yeah, exactly.
That's not happening. But.
I mean, we'll definitely see. I think Notre Dame definitely could run the table, but they definitely got to get the job done against USC and North Carolina.
Are they even going to give us credit for that?
They're going to have to. I mean, that was a close win by Cincinnati over us, so can't discount it. We'll see, but that means Cincinnati's going to have to run the table and dominate along the way. But our next team is one that's, I guess, our Cinderella of sorts beyond Cincinnati. That's number 14, Coastal Carolina, 6-0, coming off the bye week. What do you think about Coastal Carolina and the Chanticleers?
I think they might get upset this week. When did they play? Thursday or Friday?
No, they're on a bye, or they're coming off the bye, and then they play
Appalachian State.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're good, though. They're good. This is a big weekend for them. Can they beat Appalachian State? Even though Appalachian State got torched last weekend.
That is true.
If they go into Appalachian State and they just dismantle them, I think you give them a few points for that. Because Appalachian State's not a bad program in the last handful of years.
True story.
But bigger. We need to see bigger competition. But I do think there should be ahead of teams like Iowa.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I could agree with that.
And possibly Notre Dame. That's exactly what about their matchup, somewhere in that area. But Notre Dame probably should be a little higher compared to the teams that they got in there.
Yeah.
I don't think we're good. But like compared to some of the teams that are up there, like a Michigan State, well, maybe I'm wrong. I need to see Michigan State play someone good. But teams like that, I think Notre Dame beats Michigan State, but maybe not.
No, I have to agree with that. But these are the teams to watch outside the top 10. A lot of things definitely could happen in the coming weeks. But looking at our games to watch this upcoming weekend, we got number 8 Oklahoma State at Iowa State. Iowa State definitely looking for that upset Saturday, 3:30 p.m. on Fox. Definitely going to be an interesting game. Who do you think takes it?
I got to go. I don't have nothing put up in front of me, but I got to just say Iowa State I think is going to take them.
Oh, snap. I definitely could see it happen. You saw how much trouble Oklahoma State had with Texas. So, I mean, anything could happen. Iowa State is a legit squad.
Sometimes. They're a sometimes squad.
That probably would be more accurate. But we also have LSU at number 12, Ole Miss. LSU looking to try to get on track a little bit after their win against Florida. That was such a high-scoring affair. That game Saturday, 3:30 p.m. on CBS. I honestly think Ole Miss is still better than LSU, and I think Ole Miss will be able to win this. But I think LSU is going to give Ole Miss some problems. Honestly,
Blowout.
really.
10 points. Probably. I think they win by 2 scores.
Oh wow.
Yep, 2 scores. I think that offense is going to just eventually. LSU is going to make a wrong turnover, and LSU's riding that high of the Gators.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Ole Miss is for real, man. Ole Miss is for real. They showed this weekend that they went into Tennessee and they won comfortably over there. And I think the Lane Kiffin almost got hit with a golf ball.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But man, it'd be crazy to see a blowout, but we'll definitely see how that one works out. For our last game to watch in a weekend that has no ranked versus ranked team action, we have USC traveling to Notre Dame in their annual rivalry. Saturday, 7:30 p.m. on NBC. Definitely should be a good game. Notre Dame should be able to win this. USC 3-3, already got rid of their head coach, so already having issues over there. And I think Notre Dame should be able to capitalize.
What do you have the line there?
I think it was Notre Dame by 6.5.
I mean, we're a better team, but I don't really trust the set this year. I think this game could be closer than advertised. I think we could see Notre Dame winning by a score, whether that be 3 or 7, or even USC getting a late field goal or a backdoor touchdown to beat us. I think this game is going to be a decent one to watch. Like I said, I don't think USC is good, but I don't think Notre Dame's as good as it has been in years. So struggle at the quarterback position. I think the second or third guy throws it better than the other guys. And I don't know. It's a mess over there as far as quarterback's concerned.
Yeah, I feel like they have talent. Tyler Buckner.
Yeah, maybe he threw it better. Cohen needs to go back to Wisconsin.
Yeah. I mean, Wisconsin's that run-first style program, so, you can only have so many expectations for a quarterback coming out of that program. So, but it is what it is, and we'll definitely see how it works out. But that was our college football top 10 games to watch. All that great stuff dealing with college football. But you also need to check out all of our content platforms, including Podbean, Stitcher, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, Bullhorn, Player FM, Listen Notes, Amazon Music, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, CastBox, and, of course, Spotify, and all of our video segments here on Facebook and on YouTube. So definitely make sure to check it out. Just search keyword FinalScore and find all the great content that you want every week. A lot of great stuff. Definitely check it out. Definitely another good clips. Check out my rant about the FBS playoffs versus all other North American sports. Another great clip you can find on YouTube. But that does bring us to our next segment, which is talking about Washington State head coach Nick Rolovich being fired along with 4 assistants for refusing state-mandated COVID-19 vaccine. Do you think that they had the right to really tell these coaches that they had to get the vaccine?
No. No, it's just freedom. You're taking away our freedom in America. Like, you see Kyrie, and he's taking a stand, even though I think he's crazy, but I don't know. I don't know what's going on with our world, man. But no, I think, to each his own. With freedom, this and that, if you want to get it, you get it. If I don't want to get it, I don't have to get it. We work together or whatever. You're safe. You got it. That's how you feel. I feel like I want to change whatever. Like, we all should have our own freedom when it comes to that. So I don't know. So he got fired? I didn't even hear the whole story.
Oh, yeah. He got fired because him and the 4 assistants all refused to get the vaccine because of those same grounds of how they felt like it violated their freedoms. And they ended up releasing them. And Washington State officially came out and said, it was because that there was a state mandate for it. If you were a business that had, I guess, over so many ex-employees. And then this is what happened. So definitely pretty crazy to kind of see this happen, though, halfway through the season. But here we are. Definitely kind of some crazy stuff going on.
Yep. Already.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. But definitely make sure to check out all of the great merch that we have over at the Podcast City Network shop, because whether it's a net gator to protect you from COVID-19, a mug for your morning coffee, or a t-shirt just to look cool, we got you covered. Get the latest apparel and gear for your favorite podcast and Podcast City Network by visiting podcastcity.net/shop and checking out the lineup. But that does bring us to our NFL Week 7 predictions. Definitely going to be a lot of great stuff going on here. Are you ready for this one? He's always ready. Look at that face. But last week.
Oh, you're talking. I thought you were getting ready to play something. You
No.
looked over. I didn't know you were talking. You know I'm ready. That's why I popped back in.
But last week I went 9-5, putting me to 47-31 overall on the outright picks. Definitely has been an interesting season. Oh man, I'm getting sports updates right now because we have a lot of MLB action going on. But last I checked, Red Sox were up 2-1.
What about the Dodgers game?
I think the Dodgers won.
Did they? It was tied.
One of them won. I have to go back and check. They had a quick update, but I kind of missed it.
Gotcha.
But we definitely got a lot of games coming up in this slate, including our Thursday night game. The Denver Broncos traveling to the injury-riddled Cleveland Browns, both teams 3-3. The Cleveland is missing upwards, I think, of like 15 to 18 different players, including Baker Mayfield possibly, who might be out as well. So a lot of injuries going on over there. Running backs are down. Defensive players are down. All kinds of injuries. Do you think the Browns have a shot in this one?
I don't know, man. Baker doesn't play. I know Hunt and Chubb are out, so the running game is going to be tight. I would say with Baker, probably not a shot. Who's the backup over there now?
I don't even know who I think it was. I had looked it up at one point. I can't even remember.
Was the guy Jimmy Clausen from Notre Dame? No, I'm being serious. If he's not there, he was not too long ago. Anyways.
Case Keenum, there it is.
Oh, he's actually who are they playing at home?
Yeah, it's Browns at home.
Browns at home. And the spread on that one is what? I like Case Keenum now.
Yeah, I'm not even sure what the line is for that one, honestly. I don't even have that in front of me right now.
Who you got?
I got Broncos winning because I think too many injuries. You got too many guys that you're thrusting into starting positions. It's just, I think, too insurmountable. Like, with or without Baker Mayfield, all the injuries, it's just going to be, too much. And even if you do have Baker out there, he's damaged goods right now. So I'm taking the Broncos in this one.
All right, cool. I'll get the Browns.
There you go. There you go.
What did I go last week? Did you have me down?
No, I don't have yours down on here. I think you ended up going 10-4, though.
All right, we can keep track.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I just have fun.
But our next game, we got the Washington football team at 2-4 traveling on over to the frozen tundra to take on the 5-1 Packers. Packers are looking good right now, honestly, and apparently Aaron Rodgers owns everybody, which we'll touch on more on that later. But definitely were able to get the job done against the Bears last week, been able to get the job done pretty much every week. Washington football team, though, still looking for answers, not able to get a job done in these close games. And now we're starting to see, I think this is going to be the Packers game right here, and I think they're going to run it up pretty good on the football team. What do you think?
I agree with you. Not much to say. Go Pack, go. Discount double check.
Discount double check.
That's what he was doing. You saw him?
Oh, yeah, I saw it.
And then he yelled out something at the fans.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, man. But our next game, we got the Kansas City Chiefs at 3-3, traveling on over to take on the Tennessee Titans at 4-2. Tennessee looking good after that win against Buffalo. Kansas City not looking too, a lot of mistakes in their game, but still get the job done. Who do you think is going to end up winning this one?
Oh, man. I'm gonna just. I trust Mahomes more than I trust Tannehill. I'm not going to say too much because it looks like a setup for Kansas City to lose. But being at 3-3, I know that they're trying to take every game like a playoff game now because they got to win. And I think the Titans really could upset them. Definitely think I could see that happening. But I'm going to go Chiefs here and trust that Mahomes gets another one there.
Well, I'm definitely going to go Titans in this one. I think Derrick Henry in that running game is just too strong. And showing that Kansas City lost to Buffalo, Tennessee beats Buffalo. I don't see a weird triangle this time around. I think Tennessee ends up showing where they're at in the pecking order by getting the win. Our next game, though, we have the 2-3 Atlanta Falcons traveling on down to South Florida to take on the dismal 1-5 Dolphins, who ended up losing to the winless Jacksonville Jaguars last week, mind you. This one may be a setup game for the Falcons, but I think the Falcons are going to be able to get the job done coming off the bye week, and I think the Falcons end up taking this one. What do you think?
Setup game. You said it. This is a setup game. Do you know the line on this one? Dolphins favored?
I think Dolphins are favored.
Only thing that I'm gonna just take the Dolphins, but only thing that could haunt the Dolphins is that they coming home from London.
Mm-hmm.
How far is that flight? Is that far?
Oh yeah, that's I think a good 8 hours all the way through. 2 flights, right. JFK and then to London.
Dolphins win. Falcons, they beat them.
Oh man, calling it now. Look at this guy. But our next game, though, we got the 1-4 New York Jets against the 2-4 New England Patriots. Who do you think takes that one?
Is that a question?
It has to be asked.
Jets suck. I don't take them for anything. Even if I lose, I ain't taking the Jets ever. There's no explanation needed. You just don't ever pick the Jets.
That's right, because it's the Jets. And sorry for Jimmy in the chat. He said he's all about the Jets, so...
You should have pushed some kind of music there. You know, the Jets should have their own little song.
Oh, I got something for the Jets. It's this.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. It's too good. It's too good. All right, but I got the Patriots definitely winning this one. Obviously, it's the freaking Jets. Our next game, though, 3-3 Carolina Panthers traveling on up to MetLife Stadium to take on the 1-5 New York Giants. Who do you think ends up taking this one?
I'm not gonna. I think Giants could upset them, but they're not much better than the Jets, man. I'm just gonna have to ride with. I really want to say the Giants. Like, I really want to go for that upset, but they're a little better than the Jets.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying at all. The only difference is they actually have Saquon Barkley. Oh, wait.
Yeah, don't remind me. Man, I want to take the Giants so bad here, but I'm gonna take the Panthers.
Yeah, definitely the smart play there, and at the end of the day, the Panthers favored in this one by 3, and I think that's what's going to end up happening. It might be a little close, but I think Panthers are going to edge it out. Our next game, though, should be an interesting one that a matchup we haven't seen actually be competitive in a while. The 4-2 Cincinnati Bengals at the 5-1 Baltimore Ravens. I feel like this game really, honestly, could go either way, and I think Baltimore, though, with their defense, being able to play teams close no matter what, are going to be able to pull this one out. What do you think?
Well, I was impressive against the Chargers. They look like they're rolling. Usually Kansas City is who they struggle with. They ended up beating them this year. I mean, they're a better team. I'm not sold on the Bengals. I can't pick the Bengals. That's another one. I could see this upset happening, but I just can't pick the Bengals. They haven't proven to me that they're not the Bengals yet, or at least the Bengals at this time. So,
or the Bungles.
I'm going to go Baltimore.
Definitely makes sense there. Our next game, though, first 405 game, we have the 2-4 Philadelphia Eagles taking on the 4-2 Las Vegas Raiders in Las Vegas. This one is interesting because Philadelphia has a defense that's pretty good, but offensively just can't get things going. Vegas obviously still dealing with fallout from John Gruden being resigning from the franchise. Who do you think ends up taking this one? Vegas is favored by 3.
Two not so great teams.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys. I'm gonna take the Eagles on a little upset here, and I don't really. You guys are really not good. But I think the defense might be able to hold a little bit over there in Oakland, and then you guys steal this game late.
Definitely can see that. Eagles been able to get those fourth quarter comebacks going, sometimes winning, sometimes not. So definitely could happen. And honestly, I'm going to take the Eagles too. Not even just because of my own bias, but just because of that defense, I think is going to be able to frustrate Derek Carr. And with the rushing game having its own issues as well, I think that it's a prime upset location here with the Eagles over the Raiders. Our next game, though, I don't think is going to be quite so difficult to pick, and that is the 0-6 Detroit Lions taking on the 5-1 LA Rams. The Rams looking really strong with Matt Stafford under center. Detroit Lions not able to get anything going with Jared Goff, but this is the matchup of the bank of trade from the offseason. Lions, Rams, who you got?
Should we answering these?
Still got to answer them.
I think I'm going to go with the Rams.
Absolutely. I am as well. It's pretty much a no-brainer and explanation obvious. Because when you look at the Detroit Lions, they also are.
Yeah, better than the Jets, though.
Yeah, definitely better than the Jets. But at least the Jets have a win, so, you know.
I know.
But our first, oh, look at that, just dropping the camera. But our first 425 game, we have the 1-6 Houston Texans taking on the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. And I think I can speak for both of us that the Cardinals are going to go in and pretty much wipe the floor with the Houston Texans like it ain't nobody's business, especially with the Cardinals being at home. Cardinals way overmatched when it comes to the Houston Texans. They're definitely going to run right into the ground. I think you'd agree with that.
Nothing to disagree with there. Nice pounding.
Definitely, man. It's going to be
17-point line or something.
17 and a half.
Yeah, in an NFL game? That's a blowout.
Yeah, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Our other 425 game, though, we have the 3-3 Chicago Bears taking on the 5-1 Tampa Bay Buccaneers down in Tampa. Tampa looking strong as usual, coming off their Super Bowl winning season, being able to get off to a nice start. The Bears kind of going back and forth right now with Justin Fields. Who do you think ends up taking this one?
Bucks. Bears don't have enough offense. They got defense, but the Buccaneers got a lot of offense. I think too much offense with the Buccaneers that it outpowers the defense, and that they don't have any. Even though Tampa don't have a great defense, the offense of Chicago, I don't think it's enough to upset them here.
Definitely. And Tampa's favored by 12.5 in this one, too. Another big line. So, yeah, I definitely think the Bucs can wipe the floor with them as well.
Yep.
But our Sunday night football game will be the Indianapolis Colts at 2-4 taking on the 2-3 San Francisco 49ers. Definitely a matchup of craptastic teams. San Francisco favored by 3.5. Who do you got?
I think I like the Niners here. I think they're coming off that bye week. Colts aren't too good. It's a nice position for the Niners to get a nice win with what's his face at QB. I think the rookie starting
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Trey Lance. Yep, there it is. So they go ahead and get this one. Get them a nice victory.
Definitely, I could see that. But honestly, I think I'm going to side with the Colts on this one. Carson Wentz has been able to get some kind of offense going, and Jonathan Taylor being one of the top running backs now out of nowhere in the league. This offense is a little bit potent, and we saw how close they were to being able to beat the Baltimore Ravens. That game going all the way into overtime, and that's one of the best teams in the AFC. I think that the Colts are going to surprise some people here, and I think they might pull the upset. Calling it now.
Yeah, you might got a good point there. I could see it happening for sure.
Absolutely. But I think the game will be close either way. Both teams, I think, are at very similar levels. So I definitely think it's going to be a good game. But our Monday night game will be the 3-2 New Orleans Saints taking on the dismal 2-4 Seattle Seahawks. Seattle still without Russell Wilson, as he's now on IR after injuring and having surgery on his finger. So it's now the Geno Smith show, as scary as that is. But you still got Jameis Winston and the Saints. Who do you end up having in this one?
Well, there's no Carson, and there's no Michael Thomas. He's not coming back. Fantasy's all screwed up. But I think the Saints are a better team here. Geno has never proven to win anything. And I don't think I know the game was a little closer than it needed to be in Pittsburgh, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Geno's good enough to win in this spot. But maybe I shouldn't say that. He's at home, so if he's going to win something, it's going to be a game like this. But I just think the Saints are a little better.
Yeah, I think they are too, and I think they end up winning this game. It'll definitely be close, I think, to a certain extent, but I think the Saints just will find a way to be able to win this one and be able to get to a comfortable lead come the second half. So definitely see how it works out. But that is our NFL predictions for Week 7. Definitely make sure to come back next week and let us know how we did and see what you think of our picks. Go ahead and post it up in the chat and let us know what you think. But we need to tell you now about Podcast City Network and all the great stuff going on there, because FinalScore is a proud member of Podcast City Network, and there are 20-plus independent podcast members across all genres of podcasting. You can find Podcast City Network on all major social media platforms by going to Facebook at facebook.com/Podcast City Network, on Twitter and Instagram at Podcast City Net, on YouTube by searching Podcast City Network, and at our website, podcastcity.net. Be creative, be independent, be yourself. Podcast City Network. That does bring us to our next story, and that is quarterback Aaron Rodgers taunting the Bears fans after a game-clinching touchdown run, saying, "I still own you." And, you know, we kind of removed some of the expletives in there, but man, what do you think about Aaron Rodgers literally just kind of going off like he's some kind of rookie, just being like, "I own you"?
So when he slid in the end zone or whatever, that's what he did? He started yelling that?
Yep, started yelling, "I still own you, I still effing own you" to the Bears fans, which he's, I mean, not lying. He's 22-5 against the Bears, so, I mean, he's not wrong, but still. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably not right? Aaron Rodgers is crazy.
Yeah, he definitely is a little crazy. Maybe he's, just out there being Ric Flair about it.
Yeah, that's how he looks.
Absolutely ridiculous.
I was watching it, but you can't do that just because the kids,
Yeah. Yeah, you can't be like that at all. It's the PG product for all intents and purposes. So definitely got to make sure that they get that kind of stuff under wraps. Do you think he ends up getting fined in any kind of way for this, or the NFL will do anything about it?
No. I think it's just part of trash talking in sports. No harm, no foul. I wasn't directing it at any one person. I can yell that out right now. I still effing own you. You don't know if I'm talking to you, the people over there. I'm talking to the guy just slid past on the score. He's really not directed at nobody.
Right.
He didn't look at the player in the eye or look at a fan in the eye. It was just really yelled out. So I think they're going to just let it go.
Yeah, you're probably right. And, I could see them just letting it go. But if it happens again, I think at that point the NFL might get involved, especially because, they were able to get actual audio clips of what he was saying full on, and he was dropping F-bombs and all this. So, it's not something they can necessarily ignore if it were to say, happen again.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll definitely see how this one goes. But man, Aaron Rodgers just going buck wild. I tell you what, that's some crazy stuff. But that does,
at his finest.
Yeah, at his finest. But that does mean it's now to talk a little bit about City Limits Tap Room. Don't know what I'm talking about? We'll go on down to 4425 North US Highway 17 in DeLand, Florida, and check out all the great stuff that they have going on at their new location, with all kinds of drink specials, tons of TVs to watch sports, and of course, live music and entertainment, and of course, all the specials. And they got a bunch of specials, including Monday, all day $6 wing baskets and $5 pitchers of Yingling, Landshark, and Busch Light. Tuesdays, guys night with half off all wells and drafts from 7 p.m. to close. Wednesdays, all day $5 pitchers of the posted beer from 2 p.m. to close, and $2 seltzers at the outside bar. Thursdays, ladies' night with $1 wines, wells, and drafts from 7 p.m. to close. And Fridays, karaoke with Al from 7 p.m. to close. And Sunday, $13 domestic buckets and $16 import and craft buckets all day long. So definitely make sure to check out City Limits Tap Room in beautiful DeLand, Florida. That does bring us to the good old meme madness, and we definitely got a good one lined up this week. Definitely a lot of funny memes coming at us. And we're going to start off with the very first one off rip, which says John Gruden on TV versus John Gruden typing up those emails. Oh, man. That's hilarious. Love it. Love it. Our second one, though, Chase Daniel is 2-3 in 5 career starts. He's made $38 million in his NFL career. That's crazy, man.
Crazy. He's not even playing right now, is he?
No, I don't know. I think he's back up for the Chargers.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Nice. I wish I was getting that paycheck.
Yeah, right? You can't go wrong with that. But our next one says, if someone told me 3 years ago that Cam Newton is jobless and Geno Smith is starting a game, I wouldn't believe it.
For sure.
For sure. But we all know about Zach Ertz. He went to sleep 2-4, woke up 5-0. Which, if you don't know what we're talking about, Zach Ertz got traded from the Eagles to the Cardinals. Huge move, honestly. So, a lot of craziness, man. But, man, I wish I could just, wake up 5-0. What's up? Mm-hmm. Oh, man. Especially in my fantasy right now. Our next one says, the NFL, we're done honoring men who don't uphold high standards of humanity and decency. Also, the NFL. Got a plaque of O.J. Simpson. Oh, man.
Politics.
Gotta love it. Our next one, though, says, breaking news. Leaked emails from Kansas City Chiefs head coach Andy Reid reveal more than, I can't believe this, more than 10,000 Grubhub receipts.
That's terrible. It's terrible.
Oh, that's not as terrible as our last meme of the day, which was actually a tweet from Purdue football, which said, we just beat the number 2 out of Iowa.
That's a good one.
Oh, yeah, definitely a good one. But that is our meme madness. Thank you guys so much for viewing it with us on our video portion. If you're listening to our audio portion, you can catch the video portions on Facebook or on YouTube. Just go on there and search for Final Score, and you'll definitely be able to find them all there. All of our episodes, all the great stuff, and all the great memes. But that does bring us now to Podcast City Network again. But this time, you can actually join Podcast City Network. Don't know if you guys actually knew that, because have you always wanted to start a podcast but didn't know how? Do you already have a podcast but don't know how to grow it? Are you trying to find ways to make your podcast profitable? You can learn to do it here at Podcast City Network. We offer consulting services and tutorial classes to help with learning to better expand your knowledge and to grow your show. We also give access to our network of shows to help with cross-promotion, guests, and overall reach, while also becoming a part of our ever-expanding PCN community based on people helping people. The best part is no membership fee. So what are you waiting for? Go to podcastcity.net/join now and join the fastest growing independent podcast network around, Podcast City Network, which does bring us now to Give or Go. And we definitely got a couple of topics that are going to be pretty interesting going into this one once my software catches up with me here a little bit. There we go. First topic, the Chicago Sky rallied past Phoenix to win their first WNBA crown with Sky's Kalia Copper named MVP. Give or go?
Candace Parker, she didn't get the MVP?
No, she didn't get MVP.
She played that. This is her second title, but the first one with Sky, right?
That's right.
Yeah, I give it up to them, right? Is that what you do?
Yeah, we give her a go. We're definitely, I think, going to give, because we're going to have to give it up to them and everything they were able to accomplish, because this is Chicago's first title in franchise history. So definitely a huge moment.
Yeah, good. Was 2 underdogs in the finals. The higher seeds got knocked off. So, but you had Griner and Taurasi going on the other side. Definitely say it was a give. It was a nice win. Oh
yeah, for sure, absolutely. Definitely going to be, I think, interesting too. Like we said, Brittany Griner winning her second title. I think, does she keep playing? Does she keep going? I think she will for a little while longer, because she's been playing for a while now, right?
Yeah, she's probably late 20s, maybe early. It's so time's going by so fast. I feel like Taurasi's in her late 30s, mid 30s. I don't know.
Yeah, you ain't lying, man. But hey, hats off to the Chicago Sky being able to win their first WNBA crown. Definitely a lot of great stuff there. But our other give or go topic, and I find this one just funny. Free agent quarterback Cam Newton says he got vaccinated and he wants to keep playing in the NFL. What do you think about that?
Go.
There you go. I love it.
It's Cam had his chance. I think Cam didn't lack on talent. He lacked on effort. Definitely think he could still be in the NFL. But obviously you're around and people are like, hey, you know what? For whatever little more talent he has than Geno Smith, I'd rather Geno. I mean, I don't know. We're not making these calls, but these other people have these chances. And also he wants to be a starter. Why not if your number's called, if that's how you can help a team? So I don't know. We'll see if he humbles himself. And not that he couldn't start on teams, but some of these teams are trying to move in a direction. And Cam might help you this year, but he's not going to help you move in a direction.
Exactly. I have to absolutely agree. And I think that's the only reason why he has been picked up at this point. So we'll definitely see how it goes for going forward, because we do have some teams that do have some issues at quarterback, like we stated, but who knows? Who really knows?
Yeah.
A lot of things could be holding Cam Newton back at this point, outside of just getting vaccinated. So we'll see. But that was our give or go. Thank you guys so much for listening to it. But that does bring us now to Podchaser, because Apple Podcasts is no longer the only credible source for podcast discovery. You can follow creators, browse every podcast ever, and rate and review episodes. Go to podchaser.com and search keyword FinalScore, one word, and follow, rate, and review us. And that does bring us to the week ahead. Definitely got a lot of things going on with NFL Week 7 action. And, of course, college football Week 8 action. Definitely make sure to check out our games to watch that we mentioned earlier, including USC and Notre Dame, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, and LSU and Ole Miss. Couldn't remember it. But you also need to check out all the great PCN sports lineup that we have with all the great sports podcasts, including a new season of Not a Hockey Market podcast, as well as the Couch Dads podcast, the Nest podcast, the Rip Griffin Show, the Sportszilla podcast, and, of course, Fixed Edge. So definitely make sure to check out all of those shows. And, of course, episode 126 of Final Score next Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern here on Facebook Live. So definitely make sure to check that out as well. Any last words, S Money?
I'm looking forward to a nice weekend in sports, college football. Time to make some money, right? Time to get back a little of last week's losing and get back on track right where we left off.
Absolutely. Sounds great. But until next time, I'm Chris.
That's all, guys.
Y'all have a great night.
Podcast City Network.